Okay, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Skag Bones, and I'm back with another video for you. And today we're going to take a look at the Bell Super 3R. And this is a convertible helmet, as you can see here. So this helmet has two pieces, which is the helmet itself, the main helmet itself, and then you have the Detachable Chin Bar. Okay. Now, there are a couple different companies that make a helmet like this, and those are Bell and Giro. Those are the two main companies that make one. The Giro helmet is called the Switch, I believe, and the Detachable Chin Bar, this whole is, if you look it up, it shows this is one solid piece, and it's just the chin bar itself. It's not the wraparound section, it's only this part of the chin bar that snaps off. Okay, so if you want a slightly lighter helmet, my recommendation is go to Bell's website. I'll have a link in the description below, as well as where you can actually pick these helmets up at. This one, by the way, is brought to you kind of by Performance Bicycle and Moment Bicycles. So this one here was given to me to test, one of our local bike shops out here in California. So wanted to do a test on this, so figured I'd give a test for it. This is not a downhill specific one. There is one that is rated for downhill. I'm not saying you can't use this on a in a bike park. You can. The point is to be able, a person who does not want a full-blown downhill helmet, a certified helmet, can still use this in a bike park and still have protection. Because there are people that are going to certain bike parks with lift access and still only using a trail helmet, such as this. Okay, and this of course is my normal trail helmet. I'm not here to do a review on this. I'm here to do a review on the Bell, kind of give you the pros and cons. But it does, a standard trail helmet like this 7 does play a bearing into getting one of these Bell Super SRs. Or correction, Super 3Rs. So on their website, if you go on the website, just to go over, they have multiple levels of full face protection helmets for mountain biking. Of course, everybody knows Bell. They've been making motorcycle helmets for years. So the least expensive full face helmet is the Sanction, which is a $75 helmet. It is not, it is one of the more inexpensive helmets that you can get, full face helmets. That is from a bigger company and still carries a lot of protection. Okay, it is a multi-impact helmet, but its primary purpose is for BMX. It is not a downhill certified helmet. It is more for if you want something for like enduro and for BMX and for younger riders. You don't want to put a ton of money into it. They're not a MIPS helmet at all. It's just a basic full face helmet, a starting point of full face helmet. And they start at about $75, and I think you can get them cheaper than that, probably about $60, depending where you go online. The next one level up is the Transfer 9. That is their primary full face helmet that everybody gets, just because the price point is $200, which is a good price point for a full face helmet. It's not too cheap. It's not too expensive. You are getting, you're not going to be getting something like carbon fiber shell, things like that. But you are going to get a little bit more protection than what you're getting in here as far as repeated impacts. So the Bell Transfer 9, just so you know, it is $200 helmet, but is not a modular helmet. It has less venting. It's a little bit heavier. And by the way, all these helmets are going to be heavier than the Bell 3R Super 3R. This is the lightest full face helmet on the market today. Just so you're aware of it, about 750 grams for the whole helmet itself. So the Transfer 9, good deal, $200. That's retail, so you can find them probably a little cheaper. But it is a great helmet for the money. It's just the shell isn't the most crazy expensive shell. It is a downhill rated helmet, so it does have that special certification and protection on that as a helmet. Okay, the next one is of course the Super 3R, and they come in two standards. They come in men's and they come in women's. The difference being in the chin bar area, for the men's you're going to get a little bit wider, and the women's a little bit, I don't want to say slightly different, but they do have some different colors that the men's don't have, but it's a slightly different design for the women. Okay, internals are the same. It's still MIPS. It's still going to strap the same way. And by the way, I'm going to assemble this and show you what it looks like and show you how very quickly this disassembles as well. Okay, so they do have a men's and women's version of the 3R. Okay, these run retail at $230, but out here in California, oh well, anywhere where you have a performance bike, they run about $200. And I will say this, what kind of turned me on to this helmet is the fact that one of the guys there at one of the customers at Performance uses this as his normal. He has I would say an XC bike that he rides all over the place, and this is his everyday wear helmet. So he bought it, he uses this as his everyday wear, and then if he decides to go on the trails, he adds a chin bar just to give him a little bit of protection, because I guess he had a pretty bad accident out on the trails one time, and he swears by the chin bar. And the nice thing is with this, I've worn this with the chin bar. The chin bar is nice and light. You're not going to feel over encumbered with this helmet. Okay, so that is that. If you actually, this isn't a downhill rated helmet, as I've said before. If you want the downhill rated helmet, you're going to go with the Super Downhill. It's just called the Super Downhill. A very similar style to this, just doesn't have these vent points here. It does have a small vent port here. It's a little bit different. So it provides more stability in the chin bar. The chin bar is a little bit thicker. Full multi-impact helmet. And by the way, this is a multi-impact helmet. So the polystyrene on the inside, if you can feel it, you can push on it and it pops back. But the pads are more like, I want to say, they're more of a trail specific style pad on the inside. And then of course you have your cheek pads. So nothing super fancy on the inside. The buckles aren't really heavy. The difference with the Super Downhill is the pads get a little bit bigger, and then the MIPS system goes from this style MIPS to the strap style MIPS, where the strap and the MIPS system, instead of the MIPS system being an added on piece, it's the MIPS, I believe it's 2.0, it's a new 2.0 system, where the strap and the MIPS are all integrated together. So your retention system actually is what allows for the movement. So it's not just the MIPS itself that rotates, it's the entire system. So it's a little bit more durable, and that's what allows it to be a downhill specific, or have the downhill rating. Because if you look at all the like motocross and the like if you look at motocross helmets that have MIPS now, they have this special integrated padding system where the whole padding system actually moves inside the helmet. Okay, and then of course your most expensive one, by the way, that's the Super Downhill MIPS, starts at $300. And like I said, it's a little bit heavier than this one, and I'll talk about weight. So a standard full face helmet is going to weigh about 1,500 grams. This one is 750 grams. The downhill is 850 grams. And most of the weight, you get about an extra 50 grams between the helmet and the chin bar. Okay, and it is because it's a little bit more dense plastic, just so you're aware of that. Okay, and then the full 9 is their most expensive one at $400, and then of course it's carbon fiber shell, and that's where you get the more expense. Of course, it does have some wires in there, so if you want to listen to your music or whatever else, or if somebody's on the radio with you, you have that option, and they don't plug into your ear. It's just a little speaker there by your ear, so you have that. Or if you need to, for some reason you get a phone call, or you have a GPS system that's talking to you, it is nice for that. Not that most people are going to be using that on like a downhill trail or anything, but it does give you that option. And a lot of the full non-convertible systems in helmets, give you that type of speaker system. They just throw it in just in case somebody wanted it. Now the full 9 is, you could pretty much use it for motocross. It's that heavy of a helmet, or that good of a helmet. But you're talking about, it weighs 15 to 1600 grams. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go over the features. That's an overview of the Bell helmets. Okay, like I said, go to the website, look them up if you're interested in something other than this. Like I said, the MIPS, the Super Downhill, I would recommend as well. I didn't get a chance to get one. They had a test model there, so I tried it on. It was absolutely awesome. It is a new one for 2018. Absolutely great helmet. So I didn't, like I said, I wasn't able to get a test model of that. Wasn't able to get a test model of this, simply because they've had it out for a little bit. So this has been out for a few years. Also, the other thing with the Super Downhill is it has, instead of this snap system, it does have, like on the Specialized helmets, it does have the magnetic, so you just kind of put the two pieces together and they instantly snap together. It makes it a very easy system. Okay, so let's talk about the way this works. As you can see, you do have your GoPro snap away at the top. It does have some Velcro here, but it has a clip that goes in here, so if you do hit this, this would snap off, trying to prevent damage to whatever you have up there. The other thing as well that you can get, you can also get Lesign light mounts, and you could mount your lamp on the top of your head. So if you're doing trail riding at night, you want to be having your lights where your head is pointed, so you're looking down the trail, and that's the point of this. Is so, unlike road bike riding where you always want the light ahead of you and you're always looking where your wheel's pointed, in this case, when you're trying to ride down a trail, you want a light on your head. So this allows for that as well. If you look at the peak here, the peak is adjustable through these side locking nuts here. You just finger do like that. Now the nice thing about this peak is it's a heavier plastic here. It's a lot thicker plastic than something like a standard trail helmet like this. If you see this peak is a good peak. It's a little bit lighter weight peak on this 7 helmet, and it's designed to be, because this helmet is designed to be a lighter helmet. This is like 200 grams, 250 grams by 350 grams. So a little bit lighter helmet, also a lighter outer shell. So polystyrene is going to weigh the same, but it has a lighter outer shell. Okay, this does, because it is a multi-impact helmet, the outer shell is a heavier plastic. In fact, the outer shell is very similar to plastic to what's on the chin bar. And when you feel the chin bar, you can tell that the plastic here, the shell, it's just a shell. It has some impact foam here that isn't polystyrene. It has a very nice impact foam. And then of course you have your cheek pads, and your cheek pads are fully adjustable. I'm not going to take them apart, but there is Velcro pieces here, and you can adjust the size by, it's a memory foam. You can replace the memory foam. Get other pieces of memory foam, even cut them. I don't recommend buying new inserts, but there is a extra piece of padding that's on the back side, and you can pull that out, and this makes this a little bit thinner if these cheek pads are too big for you. The nice thing is with these do snap in, and then if you take the pads out, you can throw this in the wash and wash the whole pad, cheek pad, which I did. So I got these. It had been worn before by some other people. Like I said, it was kind of a test model they had, so I took the cheek pads, wanted to wash it up. I took the pads out, threw it in the washing machine, and they cleaned up nice. Let them air dry. It took about probably 20 minutes to air dry. Okay, so very good quality there with the pads. Okay, on the inside, it's the same thing, except it's the same type of material. It is an antimicrobial material. The only problem that I saw with the helmet is the fact that right back here they have a Velcro piece beyond this little MIPS nut that's here, and the pad just does not stick to that piece of Velcro. So what I did is I had another helmet that had some extra Velcro pieces. Okay, had just some extra pieces of Velcro, and I took that Velcro and I stuck it in here. Or you can get standard Velcro, you can get some small piece of Velcro, and what I did is I put it before this little MIPS float nut, where the actual MIP shell snaps into there, and then that holds the pad in. Otherwise, this was flapping around and just kind of annoying me. So I put it, once it's on your head, it won't matter. But I do recommend doing that to your helmet if you get one of these, so these aren't flapping around. Okay, it does have a two-piece system, so this is all one solid piece, and this is one piece here. To buy replacement pads is about $14. I checked them on Amazon and on the website, so it's pretty inexpensive to buy these pads. There isn't one that has a bug netting, which I really wish, but on the other hand, I always wear, because I am bald and I shave my head, I do always wear a cap underneath. This is, so you know, this is a size medium. Typically I wear a large in a helmet. I just want to show you. This one here is a medium large. Okay? And they had this in an extra large. They didn't have a large. But when I put on the medium was really the most comfortable. You want it tight enough that you don't have to adjust this when you have the chin bar on. Because if you notice here, the retention system sits up really high. You can't adjust it down by pulling. It does have an adjustment, so you can pull this down as well if you're not going to use the chin bar. And if you notice that you can sit the helmet a little farther forward on your head, push up the peak, and wear it closer to that of a road helmet or a trail helmet. Okay, but I don't like, but you lose some of the protection of the actual helmet on the back of your head, because you're not going to wear it flat on your head like this, and it is designed to sit like that. Okay, more so than this 7 helmet. It provides a lot more protection because, like I said, it's a full face helmet. So it has 3 snap positions, and if you see, the retention system almost sits up into the top of the, up into the back of the helmet here. And then once this snaps on, it's almost covered. Okay, so the peak, by the way, it goes all the way up. Goes pretty far, comes all the way down. And the nice thing about this, allows you to put your goggles up over the top. It doesn't have a full goggle retention system, but it really doesn't need to really have that. I'm looking at the downhill to see if the downhill has a goggle retention system. So the difference with the downhill is this juts in a little bit on the back, and it doesn't have these vents, and so the goggles lock into it, very similar to how this has. So this has this little notch here so the goggles don't slide off the top. Okay, but I've never really had that problem before. So what you want to do, and by the way, if you look at the buckles, the way this does, they go kind of sideways. The nice thing is it has this little, these will float, and you don't have to adjust these. You can kind of just slide it on your head. This also, the buckles go into the outer part of the helmet instead of going to the inside of the helmet on the retention system. Allows this to be worn looser on the head to make it for more comfort. Okay, as you can see, the plastic comes all the way around the polystyrene for plenty of protection of that polystyrene. Okay, so let me show you what this looks like with the chin guard on. So you want to take the buckles, put them inside the chin guard, and you have these 2 notches. You have the notches there. You have these parts here that are going to go into the vents in the back, as such, like so. Okay, and you want to take this buckle and keep it out of the way. You can kind of latch it like that. You can latch this part first when you're putting it back together. You can just latch it like so, as you can see right there. And then here on the sides, this is what's going to stick a little bit. You want to pop these in and pop this in here, these vents in. And then once these are in, these latches don't go very far. They just kind of come forward a little bit. And there's this little notch in here, so you just take the latch, make sure this is in all the way, and then snap it in. You'll get that very positive snap because it is spring loaded. So do the same thing on the other side, and just snaps in, very positive snap. And it looks really nice. It has kind of a nice thing. Now, the one thing you want to do that's kind of a drawback of this helmet is you see the strap sits kind of on the other side of the chin guard, or sorry, the pads for the chin guard. So I just kind of take and I pull the pad up a little bit. Because it snaps in, it's very easy to take the strap and unsnap just the back end of the pad, like so. See, it just comes out like that, and you can put the strap right under the corner of the pad and then re-snap it into place. As you hear that click, and then bam, the strap sits like so. The other thing that's really nice is it has these knockout spots, so where you put your glasses will sit right in here, right? Because this comes down a little farther. It has temple protection that this helmet doesn't have, because this comes down farther, right? It comes down and protects your temple. Your glasses are going to sit right there in that little notch. So they put the notches there for your glasses if you want to wear glasses vice your goggles. And then you can just pull the pads, the chin pads out a little bit. Pull this down like so. Okay. Get that in there. And just snap that back into place. Okay. Now you can try to finagle it, but the problem is you're going to probably open up the Velcro and everything. And then when it sits on your helmet, leave it on your head, because it sits down a little bit like so. This sits up in the back just a tiny bit, and it's never, nothing sits, no helmet sits on your head like this. They always sit like this, angled like this, and that's why some of the bigger helmets, they come down flat a little bit. Okay, so I'm going on the website here to kind of look at it. If you look, I'm going to show you on the website. If you see, this comes back a little down a little farther. This is the full 9, the downhill one, and this is why the downhill one is a little bit more expensive, is because the back where the retention system is, this back part comes down a little farther. Not much. This one cuts up just a little bit, okay, to make it a little bit more light. So the chin bar is lighter, as you can see. A little bit less venting here in this guy in the downhill certified one, but very similar design. Still has lots of vents. It's one of the most vented downhill helmets you're going to get. This has even more, so this thing is ridiculous comfortable. Only weighs 750 grams. Okay, and then that's the woman specific one. You have the Transfer 9, as you can see. So it comes down farther in the back, and then when you get to this one, the Sanction, it's built more like this is, but not with a removable chin bar. Now the nice thing is with Bell, you can buy just the chin bar. So if for some reason you got in an accident and you hit just the front of this and this snapped, or one of these breaks, you can buy just the chin bar for $75. Okay, which I think is actually a pretty good deal. It's less than half of the helmet. So if you have a bad enough accident and you hit the top of the head, this, like I said, it's multi-impact. So if you hit hard enough to snap the chin bar, I believe you're probably going to break this. I think the reason they sell the chin bar separate, the main reason they sell the chin bar separate, is for the fact that they were selling this helmet without the chin bar for a long time. So people were buying this helmet and they wanted the chin bar, so they do have that option. You can buy the chin bar if you've only gotten this helmet. And that's pretty much the 2R model. The 2R model came with just the helmet or just the chin bar. Now, unfortunately, you can't buy that anymore, but I believe that's why they do still sell the chin bar on the website. One other thing I do recommend, if you do go on the website, you're going to get this from a website. Look on the website and look under mountain bike and you look up deals. So if you look at the bottom, see if I can bring this up for you folks. So at the top of the website here, you click on this, you come down here to cycling. And if you go down here, you see clearance. And what they do is they put them on clearance. And what I would recommend doing is, if you here's a good example: full 9 reduced, reduced price $199. Now that's because they only have in that style, which was I think a last year's style, that color. They only have one of them left. Okay, so when you go to here, it's $199, and you go to size. Sorry, they have an extra large, but they don't have an extra large. They don't have a medium. They don't have any of the other sizes. So the only size they have is an extra large. So if you have a bigger head, you might be able to get a better deal on it. So that's kind of one of the nice things with Bell. They do clearance item sales, and they also, any of their shops that you do go to that are certified Bell dealers, they'll do the same thing. So that is pretty cool. You go to Performance Bike, you're going to at least get $30 off the helmet. Any of the Bell helmets. I haven't seen the downhill there yet at one of the Performance bikes. That's not to say they don't have them at different Performance bikes. If you're looking for one, I would probably go on their website, and you could probably find one cheaper. Like I said, almost everything you find cheaper than what's on the actual manufacturer website for the retail. So I've been riding with this, trying it out. I want to give you an overview, and I know this is kind of long going over the features of this, but I will say this. I haven't used the camera, but I have been using this. I've been riding with it for the last couple weeks, and I will say this is an extremely comfortable helmet. Now, typically what I'll do is I have a helmet holder on the back of my Camelback, and what I'll do is I'll take the chin bar off. I'll hang the chin bar on that, and I'll ride around with just the helmet as is. And if I decide I need a chin bar, I will use the chin bar. So, like I said, this is a heavier plastic. It's more like this Peak here, which is actually pretty thick outer plastic shell. So the outer shell on this is pretty heavy duty. It's not a cheap. This is one of your better trail helmets that you're going to find out there on the market as far as durability wise. Okay, better polystyrene. You can almost use this as a riding in a BMX park or something like that. Okay, so it would kind of fit you, be suitable for that. But I think you're kind of silly because most of those helmets you can get for pretty inexpensive. So I wouldn't be spending the money on this for that purpose. But if what you want is you want a trail helmet or an enduro helmet, but you don't always want to have the chin bar all the time, or you don't necessarily want to wear goggles all the time, or maybe you wear goggles all the time, but you don't always want the chin bar on. You want something like this half the time. This is the way to go because you can keep the chin bar with you if you feel you need it, and it's very easy. Like I said, all you do is on your head. You can do it. Snap, undo in the back because you have this little ledge there. Bam, and then it pops right off. About 10 seconds. And then they had a pro challenge where the pros do this in like 3 seconds. So this weighs almost nothing. Okay, this is half the weight. This this chin bar weighs as much as this helmet does. Okay, so if you're looking for a really good full protection helmet for trail riding, this is phenomenal. And if you notice here, it's got big metal rivets to hold the straps in, unlike this guy, which has some little plastic pieces that are melded into the polystyrene. So a lot better quality. Of course, like I said, multi-impact helmet. Recommend buying one of these to everybody that rides mountain bikes. It's probably the best deal you're going to get. That's it for me, folks. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. As always, click up here to subscribe to the channel. Click on that icon. Got lots more videos for you guys. That way you can kind of get notified when I'm going to be putting up a video. And if you click up here, I got another video for you guys about the mountain bike. So, as always, keep riding.